Hi guys, my name is Jurado. I'm a GEARUP tutor at Parkland Middle School, and today we're going to talk about the introduction to factoring. In this video, you will learn about what is factoring, what is it used for, what are the types of polynomials, you will learn the greatest common factor and exponent laws, okay? Let's jump to it. So first off, what is factoring? Factoring is a mathematical term where we find factors to simplify an expression by taking out terms using multiplication principles. And why is it important? Factoring is a mathematical principle that allows us to apply other mathematical concepts in order to solve more complex problems, for example, in calculus, algebra, differential equations, physics, and statistics. Here I have a simple example. We can see that 2 multiples would be 2 and 3. 2 times 3 equals 6. This would be a simple way of showing the number 6. The prophecy. The reason factoring and algebra are important because they are the building blocks for higher level math. And here's a real quick question. Would you want a chief engineer building your new house to not have any basic algebra skills? This is just an example, but basic algebra is embedded within career fields such as science, business, and manufacturing. Okay, so what are polynomials and how do we understand them? First off, to even look at polynomials, we have to have a good idea of the prefixes we use. For example, mono equals 1, bi equals 2, poly equals many. Okay? So here we have polynomials. These polynomials are different based on the amount of terms they have. For example, 6 is just one term by itself, so is 4x cubed. But when we look at a binomial, you have 2 terms. Now we have a 6x plus 2, and the same thing for a trinomial. 3 terms, which is the 3x squared minus 5x plus 8. And once we go into a lot of numbers, we just go straight into polynomial, which means many. Here we go, many nomials. Okay? Before we jump on to some problems, let's go ahead and talk about the greatest common factor, or the GCF. The GCF is the greatest factor 2 or more numbers have in common when finding their multiples. For example, let's find the GCF of 24 and 36. Here, I have listed 24 is 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6, and for 36, we have 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, and 6 times 6. Here, we can see that the GCF is 12 because it is the greatest number that both 24 and 36 have in common. Alright guys, first we're going to solve this problem, which is 48 plus 24. We're going to show you how to factor it, okay? The first step would be to go ahead and write all the factors for 48 and 24, so let's go ahead and do that.
It's going to be 1 times 48, we have 2 times 24, 3 times 16, 4 times 12, 6 times 8. And for 24, we have 1 and 24. We have 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 4 times 6.
As we can see here, the greatest common factor would be 24, because that's the biggest number both of them have in common. So let's go ahead and do that. In order to factor, we're going to take this 24 and we're going to put it outside of the parentheses. This is our parentheses. Now we're going to put this 24 out of it. So if we get 48 divided by 24, we would get 2. So here in the parentheses, we're going to put a 2. And if we divide 24 divided by 24, we're going to get 1, okay? So that would be how you factor the problem out. If you want to check, we could always do this. 48 plus 24 is going to be 72. Now, If we follow PEMDAS here, the parentheses, we would get 2 plus 1 equals 3 times 24, which is 72. And that's how you factor two terms. The last thing I want to talk about is the law of exponents, most specifically the product rule. Which is this, which is a to the power of x times a to the power of y equals a to the power of x plus y. So an example would be 6x squared plus 15x. We would need to factor this, okay? So the first thing we would do is find the factors for 6 and 15, which are
1 times 6, 2 times 3, and for 15, we have 1 times 15, and 3 times 5. The biggest common factor would be 3.
So now that we know we need to take out a 3, what do we have to take out here? We have different exponents, so therefore we're just going to take 1. So the factor would be 3x, because we're going to take this x, and here we have 2, so since we have 2 and we take out 1, we just have the x by itself. Okay? So the answer would be 2x plus 5. If we want to distribute it to check the answer, we could just multiply this term by the terms inside, which in turn we would get 6x. Using this term, this law, we know that it's squared plus 15x. And that would be the end of the video. Thank you.